Hello, welcome to another unboxing. This time it's an amplifier, power amplifier. It's the Pyle USA.com wireless BT professional power amplifier 2-channel rack mount bridgeable Pro power amp 1000 watts. And I say for an 1000 watt amp, if it is 1000 watts, it's very light, so it means it's digital. It hasn't got a toroidal power supply, it's going to have a switch mode power supply. Now this is to replace a power amp for my computer and editing area. It's actually an Audiolab 8000p, but it's clicking and popping and doing all sorts. But this was less than £100. I got it from a company called Thompson for about 87 quid. So, I mean, it would cost me much more than that to have my ramp repaired. So I thought, let's just have a go. Let's just see what this digital amp's like. I think it's actually 250 watts per channel into 8 ohms. But into 4 ohms, which my speakers are, it's 500 watts per channel. From an amp that cost 100 quid. I'm expecting this to just be quite brash and not a very audiophile compared to the Audiolab, but we will find out. Can an amplifier that costs £100 or just under be as good as one costing about 700-800? I don't think how much it is now, which was rated at 100 watts per channel. Actually was about 155. Not happy? No, I'm pretty happy, I'm alright. Happy. Okay, I'm happy. Okay, support. Well, here is the manual. Well, we get to see now. By the way, if you bridge it, I think you've got to have an 8 ohms load on it. So if you've got 4 ohm speakers, you can't bridge it. I also noticed that they're 2-speed fans. It's a shame that they're not thermal fans, just because it's asking a bit much for a cheap amplifier. So that they, might not come on, but they're fairly quiet. Now there we go. 2x500 watt 4 ohm, 2x250 watt 8 ohm, but that does not say RMS, and RMS is the only real way to measure properly the output power. So it doesn't say RMS, so I don't know. I mean, if that's music power, half that and take a bit more off. Anyway, you can have a quick look at the manual. You may wish to pause and read any of this, and I'm sure you can go on the website and get this very, very quickly if you need to. I'm sure it says something about bridging here you've got to watch out for. Yeah, watch your resistance. If you're not bridging though, 8 or 4 ohms will be fine. So really this is for DJs, isn't it? And small venues, pubs, that sort of thing. Not really designed for the home. But I quite like having a bit of power in reserve for those transient peaks. I'm not saying I blast the music out. I have it on sort of medium, but sometimes for those great peaks, it's nice to have that bit of headroom. Right then. Okay. So you get a power cord, which looks like a conversion from a Euro plug. But I'll be using a better power cord than that, but it's nice to have it. Yeah, so for a 1000 watt amp, That is very, very light. There we go. And this doesn't look new. This has got fingerprints on here. Looks like a little scratch on there. The stickers for more don't take off is coming off. That looks fairly alright on the back. So there are stereo or bridge mode, switchable here, antenna. Oh, one fan. I thought it had two. So we got one fan. So input is XLR or TRS. So say there's bridge. There's a ground lift, Bluetooth, speak-on connections, bridged out or separate. You can change the voltage if needs be. And here's your binding posts, but you can also take banana plugs, which is one reason I like the look of this one. I'm sure in the picture, oh no, I must be confusing it with another one. Well, we shall wire it up in a moment and see. Let's say there are fingerprints on that. So there's signal, clip and protect and power here, and there is sort of VUs there from -10 to 0, +3, +6. Obviously you want to keep it under the yellow if you can. Okay, and there is BT auxiliary in. So that's the antenna, or aerial as we say in the UK. Well, let's wire it up and see what it sounds like. Okay, swapped them round, and as you can hear, the fan inside is coming into contact with something. And I've checked the back, it's not the back. Great. So on full volume, and for the given volume like we had before, it's not coming across as loud, to be honest. Ah, God, I'm going to have to take it to pieces and find out what's the matter with the fan. Well, it's always nice to have a nose inside, isn't it? And the first thing I'm surprised about is the toroidal power supply, which is a linear power supply, which will give it a better sound quality. I was expecting a switch mode at this price, but it's quite a nice toroid there. So the fan, nothing obviously wrong, other than I'm not sure if this is completely flat. So what I did was I took out the screws that were holding it in, which only just go into the plastic of the fan, and I put these rubber things in like you use in the computers. So that little bit of movement, you see, shock absorber. Plus I routed this cable, which was just coming out to here and going into there, right the way around the fan so it doesn't get caught. It could have been that, but it didn't look like it. Everything I found surprising was obviously there's the output transistors, here's the heat sink, and there's output transistors on the other side, but it doesn't go straight out the case. So the fan blows the air in onto this thing, and then the heat just hangs around in here, and then there's a little bit of a sort of exit point there, but the air isn't forced out, so Mind you, I'd have to look at the comments if anyone else has used it like full blast for a long period of time, and if it has overheated, then that's the reason why. I mean, you could take this little bit of foam out, but obviously it stops dust coming in. That might help a bit. Or even make a few holes in the lid above. But, well, maybe it's alright. I mean, digitals don't get that warm, do they? But this claimed 1,000 watts, 500 watts per channel at 4 ohms. I don't know, didn't sound that loud to me. Mind you, it might be expecting a hotter signal in here than I'm giving it, because it's not registering on the front, even the green light. So that could be a reason why. Anyway, hopefully, now I've decoupled that fan a little bit, it's still quite tight. Hopefully that will stop it banging about. I think it was actually catching on this, where it isn't absolutely completely straight, and also where this has been cut out, there was some odd bits on the inside which I just rubbed off. Could have been that. Anyway, there we are. It's quite nice to see the inside, isn't it? As I say, very surprised to see the toroidal power supply there rather than switch mode. So that's a positive. Anyway, put it back together and put it back in, and let's hope that that fan noise has gone now. So the fan's all right now, but as you can hear, I've just played a few tracks. Not that loud. It is noisy. Of course, it's not really designed for this sort of thing. I thought, well, it'd be near my computer, but the fans come on and off on that, so it's a darn sight more noisy than the computer. And for the sort of volume that I need, these lights aren't even registering. I thought that there was actually something wrong with it, that not even the -10 light was coming on, but to get the -10 light to come on, I must say it is very loud. So it's a PA amp, so if you want it for a disco or, you know, it's going to be fine. I must say, with this on full blast and this, I can hear noise through the speakers. Actually, I heard an electrical. I don't even hear it. So it's not the quietest of amps, but it's not an audiophile amp, is it? It's a 90 quid brutish sort of thing. Anyway, so I'm going to play one of my tracks with this volume set at half. I've also made sure on here that the output is on 0, and here is the basically what I'm controlling with on there. So this is sort of half volume on this. See, that's just going into the red there. And this is on about -10. And you see the lights, they're not even on. Not even a little bit. So I don't know if you can get the judge of it from my voice. I'm speaking right next to the camera. So I'll now turn it up to get the -10 to come on. Well, it's just saying signal, just got a signal coming in, and it's just on -10. And I gotta say, that's loud. That's really loud. A fear of the Lord. So, I mean, if you use it what it's meant for, you're going to be absolutely pleased with it. You get a good volume output. Oh, by the way, these are 4 ohm speakers, so it is 500 watts per channel with this setup. But for just casual listening, where you just want to be doing a bit of monitoring, don't know so much. But yeah, it's 90 quid. Yeah, I say if you want a little PA, this is outstanding value at 90 odd quid. I think it's about £100 on Amazon, something like that. Outstanding value. So even if I turn that down, say to half, Still the same noise coming through the speakers. It doesn't seem to make any difference if that's on high or not. Oh, and this is the
power on.
That's the Bluetooth thing.
This tram is for Fleetwood Ferry. Next stop, St. Chad's Road.
So I've been using it for, about an hour now. It's always unfair to judge the sound quality of something you've just bought. I give it a few days for it to bed in. But first impressions are the mid-range is coming through a bit more, but the treble's a bit sort of dying off a bit compared to the other amp, but that might change over time. I'm just going to say that I'm using the same connections as I was before. So I've got a Nordos Vishnu cable there. I've also got, oh god, what are they called? Cord Anthem cables there. But I think what the problem is it's expecting a much hotter signal. So really, it should be where that green light's coming on all the time, and then adjusting these down. So at the moment, this is putting the noise floor right up by having it on the maximum gain, whereas really, you should have it down here somewhere, and have the green lights coming on. It's got a really nice hot signal coming in. So I think it's more designed for XLR maybe than it is for phono. Maybe I might have a little play around and see if I can get something with a bit more output, because I don't think it's hot enough for this amp, the output. I think it's about 2 volts probably coming out of that, which is sort of like the hi-fi standard. Maybe it wants 5 or 6 like XLR. Anyway, it's okay. I mean, the fan's a bit much, really. I mean, on these sort of levels, it would have been nice if the fan could have just turned off altogether, really. That would have been quite good. So, as I say, it's not a hi-fi amp. It's a PA amp, probably for a small club, pub, something like that. I think you'd be well pleased with it, especially with the Bluetooth link up. So you could just link up maybe a phone or something and play some tunes off of it. And you've got a volume on the front. You wouldn't need a preamp or anything. You'd just have it running straight off of there. Anyway, that's the final thoughts on that. Not too bad. Oh, there is a good flow of air. Don't know if you can hear it on the microphone there. There is a good flow of air coming out that front. So even though my first thoughts were, it'd have been better if that would have gone straight through, there is quite a nice flow of air coming out through there, so I don't think cooling's going to be a problem. So just as a extra bit of interest on the end of this video, I just thought I'd show you the inside of this amplifier for comparison. And look at these burn marks. Yep, that's sooty. Something's been getting very hot there, and then suddenly I can see one problem straight away. This resistor is actually touching the mains lead coming in, and it has burnt it. And in fact, if you have a look at the board in general, I don't know if you can make it out from here. Just going to zoom in a bit. It's looking quite burnt. There's a lot of discoloration on there. And the other side's not quite so bad, but that also has some discoloration and burns. So I think the reason it was cutting out mainly was because of that. Let's move that resistor slightly out of the way there. Wow. But there's obviously a lot of heat going on here. Anyway, so let me just zoom out so you can see. Lovely design though, isn't it? Dual mono, great big toroidal power supply there. Power supply separate. You see, it's also got a sort of a bridge of capacitors to supply either side when it needs it. You know, a real burst of amperage when needed. But I'm just trying to think how long I've had this amp. Sometimes I think it's only a few years, and it's probably decades. I think I've had this amp a long time. So even though it may be just a matter of replacing that, I think pretty soon a lot of these components are going to be wearing out, because it looks like there's a lot of heat damage here. Anyway, that's just a little bit I'd add on the end of the video.